Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where we read surprisingly interesting stories that usually don't end in a cliffhanger. If you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right in. And the first one is titled, "Work Making Me Pay 5-Figure Sum for Mistake." Throwaway because this is a career ender and I don't want it linked with my identity. I will try to keep it brief and easy to pass, but I'm very stressed at the moment. I'm in England, by the way. I am an account manager for a medium-sized freight company, have been for over 5 years. My contract contains the following clause. If an employee's actions, whether by misconduct, negligence or any other reason, result in any financial loss to the company, then the employee remains liable for these losses and must reimburse the company for the losses in full, including by means of salary deduction at the discretion of the board. On Wednesday, I made a stupid mistake on a customer's account that resulted in them being massively overcharged. They did not appreciate this at all and invoked the break clause in their contract. This account brought almost $100,000 of clear net profit to the business annually. The whole company's net profit in 2017 was almost $450K. I was suspended pending an investigation within an hour of notifying the sales director. I am in a union, so I immediately contacted my rep, who told me to give nothing but no comment responses at the investigation, as they would almost certainly come after me for the $100K if I admitted any liability. The investigation was today and I've been found guilty of gross negligence for the mistake. They used software logs and whatnot to make the case. My rep was very good and fought my corner hard, but ultimately it is obvious that I made the F up. The MD gave me two choices: either accept a $10,000 per annually pay cut and commit to the company for 5 years, swinging but doable, and he would accept that as full settlement, or refuse and be taken to court and sued for the balance, which apparently would also result in thousands in costs being added to the bill. I have until midday on Tuesday to make the decision. My representative said he cannot give advice on purely legal matters like this and has arranged a phone call with an employment lawyer on Monday. I have rung ACAS and they say they cannot really help. I am panicking. I have generalized anxiety disorder and would like some impartial advice before this totally ruins my weekend. Should I go back home to South Africa and let them chase me for it? Should I accept the pay cut? Should I fight in court? Any help much appreciated. And by the way guys, I'm curious, are you a member of a labor union? Here in many European countries, labor unions are really strong and important, but I'm not sure how important they are in the US. Let me know. Either way, a user in the comments said OP agreed that he would be liable in the event of misconduct, negligence or for any other reason. Why would the OP only be liable if they were negligent? I'm not saying that you are wrong, just wondering why you think that. Another user said whether or not that clause is enforceable would need a court to decide. To sue you, they would need to prove the negligence. That depends on what exactly you had done and under what circumstances. Your best bet is to speak with a solicitor. And now the update to the story from before. Thanks for all your help, lads. You kept me calm and lucid on a very tough day. The conversation with the employment solicitor yesterday was very enlightening indeed. He claims I was not negligent, as negligence requires that a reasonable person in my position would not make the same mistake, something that is unlikely to be the case as the mistake was so minor and easily repeatable. He also claims the entire clause in my contract is completely unenforceable due to the overly broad term "any other reason" and misunderstanding of liability. His exact words were, "Whoever wrote that is an idiot with no knowledge of the law," which was quite edifying to hear. Finally, and what came as a very pleasant surprise to me, he said I have what amounts to a fairly clear claim for constructive dismissal if I resigned as a result of what could easily be construed as bullying and illegal employment practices. Apparently, the massive pay cut alone meets the standard for constructive dismissal, so with his advice I resigned yesterday and have retained him as my representative for the inevitable tribunal to come. He claims I could easily be awarded damages of 6 to 12 months salary plus whatever statutory redundancy payment would have been due to me. Thanks again guys, you've been great. And guys, unfortunately, due to a confidentiality clause in the settlement, OP has decided to not share any further updates, but I hope that was enough update for you. Nonetheless, please let me know in the comments if a story like this would count as cliffhanger for you. If that is the case, then I would not read such a story in the future. And the next one is titled, Neighbor on top floor vaulted his ceilings without permission, now the building is being overheated so he can be warm. We are in a 5-floor walk-up with steam heat. During a renovation, the 5th floor neighbor did some undisclosed work on his ceiling. He vaulted it, which means he removed the ceiling and exposed the beams underneath. When it got cold, he complained and had the heat turned up. Now the halls are 84 Fahrenheit and the apartments are viciously hot. The guy did his work without permission, is claiming his vaulted ceiling is completely insulated and is demanding that one less amount of heat would be unacceptable. I want the building to go back to normal and sent the guy to Home Depot to get a space heater or something. We are in New York City. Any advice? Update, I convinced the building manager of how bad it is and she agreed to have the heat turned down for the long weekend. Tonight is still gonna suck, but it made me hopeful. Update number 2, the heat has already been turned down, I can breathe better and it is so much quieter without the sound of the traffic. Update number 3, building manager contacted me today and apparently the super discovered a broken lock and the boiler turned up to holy hell yesterday. In addition, a user in the comments wrote, Carpenter here, vaulting a ceiling is not simple matter since the joist resists the out thrust of the rafters. In New York City, this would require an engineer's stamp on the plans that were submitted for the permit. Talk to someone in the building inspector's office. This could affect the structural integrity of the building. And guys, I'm curious, how many of you have a heater in your apartment? Or house for that matter? Honestly, for me it's still kind of weird that in colder European countries like Germany, Switzerland or Austria, almost no one has an AC unit in his apartment, but of course heaters are very common. Let me know how it is for you. And now the update to the neighbor's story. Quick update, I've been trying to do this through the condo board, which we are unfortunately both on and have been foolishly patient. The management company and board president now acknowledge that the apartment was modified in a way worth investigating and are giving him time to produce the permits he says he got from the city. I checked the DOB website, which matches my memory. It seems to confirm that no permit was issued. So far they've given him 2 weeks to respond. On top of this, he has started reporting severe drafts and a leak over one of his windows, likely where the ceiling used to be. This is extra suspicious since we had the front of the building repointed, all the cracks and gaps in the mortar filled about 5 years ago. I spent the winter with unbalanced and excessive heat because the vents, guess where, were damaged. Could not get the management company to acknowledge this until the heat season was all but over. Like I said, I've been foolishly patient. My complaints were being treated as the problem rather than the heat issue, to the point where the management company complained to the president of the board about my complaints and refused to return emails and phone calls. The building is planning on a huge project on the roof now, and it looks like some of that may have been caused by him. No guarantees one way or the other if no inspection was done in relation to his work as far as I can tell. I'm not sure what action I can or should take, all I know is that I have a responsibility to report this to the city and I wish I didn't need to do it alone. Thanks in advance for any advice. Edit, I am in New York City, I need to sleep, looking forward to reading more tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Edit number 3, good morning, I just filed the complaint. I feel relieved that I no longer need to struggle with the condo and nervous since everything is now in the hands of New York City. The next board meeting should be interesting. I hope they don't try and kick me off before then. And guys, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video. I gotta be honest guys, currently YouTube is once again giving me quite a rough time, so the best way you can help out is by liking the video, watching until the end and posting a comment. Thank you so much in advance for all your support. And the next one is titled Landlord accuses me of smelling spicy and dropping his cat out the window. This is in Riverside County, California. So I just moved into a room in an owner-occupied LL house on the 1st of the month. It is now the 8th and things have gotten weird fast. First day or two was normal. Friday, LL texted me at work. This is my first day at a new job incidentally, saying there was a weird smell coming from my room and asking me to take care of it. I said okay, I went home and did not smell anything. I talked to him and he said he had entered the room without notice to open the window because the smell was giving him headaches. After finding out that I had last lived with an Indian family, he said it smelled like spices. Weird, but whatever, I have normal hygiene habits and there's not even food in my room except in the mini fridge, so I have no idea what he's going on about. I slept in on Saturday and then left the window open and the vent closed when I went to hang out with my girlfriend. I came home to find the window closed. I briefly talked with LL and pointed out that he has to give 24-hour notice before entering my room. Easter Sunday, I got up early and went to church with the family. I was gone until 8 PM or so and came back to find 2 notices on my door. The first one was a notice to vacate within 30 days, which also says I cannot use his TV anymore, not that I've had a chance to use it yet. The second one was a 24-hour notice saying that after 24 hours LL can enter the premises at any time, no reason given, until I vacate. Obviously not cool, but I have a new job and a long commute, so I left it alone until I could talk to LL the next day. Monday, April 6th, I talked to LL. First, he gave me the "I thought we were better friends than this" line. Dude, I've known you a week. Things seem to have gone off the deep end. He accuses me of having drugs, which I don't, and says he has police friends he can call to have the K9s inspect my room. I offer for us to just part ways ASAP. I will find another place by the 15th and he can return my security deposit and prorate back the rest of the month rent to me and give me some money to rent another moving truck. He says no. He's willing to let me move on the 1st of the month rather than the 5th, so I don't have to pay anymore, but is unwilling to return anything. He says that he will use the security deposit to peel up the carpet to check the padding for stains, to steam clean the carpet, to repaint the walls, and to fix a lock or hinge he says I broke. To my knowledge, I didn't. He says he has friends who are judges and he can take me to court if I try anything. He says he will make sure he's always home whenever I am home and that if I want to stay out the rest of the 30 days, we can just be miserable. He maintains that he can go into my room anytime now that he gave me notice. He also says he can unilaterally change any term of our written contract because there is a provision saying that if a conflict in the house arises after good faith dispute resolution efforts, landlord has the final say. I calmly what the F out of the conversation and sent him an email memorializing everything we discussed. Yesterday, Tuesday, I am exhausted and go to bed as soon as I get home from work. Nothing going on. I did notice though that he has removed a printer/copier he had in a common area. Today, he accused me of dropping his cat out of the window. I got a call from the sheriff saying that LL was at the vet with his cat who was injured and that LL reported it as animal abuse. Now, if you know anything about me, I am a total cat lover. I would never hurt a cat. Well, this really freaks me out. If he will hurt his cat to prove a point, what is next? So I found a friend to stay with and I am ready to pack up and leave tonight. I do really need my money, duh, otherwise I would not be renting a room in a house, but safety is first. Question is, if I take him to court, can I get back some of the money I paid in rent for April since he made it so difficult to live there? How much can he really charge against my security deposit if I'm only there a week and a half? And guys, I gotta say, if this guy is really willing to drop his cat out of the window to prove a point, he's clearly a psychopath. Anyway, someone in the comments also said if he tries to withhold security deposits, I would take him to small claims court to get it back. Keep copies of the weird notes and take lots of photos of the room before you leave so you know exactly what the place looks like. His cops and judge friends is a bluff and he's trying to push you around. And then another person said, no judge is going to risk their position or reputation to help a friend even if it were true. And now the update to the landlord story. Thank you for all the replies to my original post. I found some friends I could rent a room from, so last night I called the sheriff and asked for an escort to retrieve my belongings. My girlfriend and 2 other friends waited outside the house for about an hour. Unknown to us, the guy who had never had anyone over had his brother and a young blonde woman at the house and had also called the sheriff to keep the peace. When he finally arrived an hour later, I get it, more important stuff to do, sheriff went to the door to get clearance for us. Then we all went in. The move itself went fairly quickly as most of my stuff was still in boxes. We were finished loading up in under an hour while my girlfriend facilitated things with the cop and the others who stayed downstairs in the living room. Girlfriend was super level-headed, so the cop said she would be the point person from our side and brother would be the point person from the other side. Sheriff would not comment on whether he smelled anything unusual and our friends did not smell anything weird. Not that it matters anymore, I guess. Once things were mostly done, Sheriff said we would be fine, so he left. Girlfriend had thought to bring a tub of cleansing products and a vacuum, so we did not have to use owner's stuff. She finished cleaning while we got the last odds and ends and then used a notebook to handwrite an inspection form. While our other 2 friends waited out of the way, she went downstairs and asked brother to have the room inspected. Owner and brother went upstairs, girlfriend, trying to be respectful, said she would give him his space to do the inspection. After a while, we could hear owner and brother talking about the room, so our friend Jay, a realtor, so she knows home inspectors, went up and talked to owner. Owner was hesitant to put anything in writing, so Jay filled in the form. The rest of us were in earshot, but were not upstairs to see what was going on. Owner pointed out the weirdest stuff, a tiny dent in the doorknob like the size of my pinky toenail that he says was not there before, and scuff marks on the wall that were definitely there when I moved in. Too bad I did not take pictures that first day. Owner said he wanted to do final inspection in daylight, so we said fine, girlfriend will come over at noon, and we left. The new place was great and I was relieved it was finally over. An important fact here is that girlfriend's name is in the lease as an approved guest. Girlfriend and her dad went to the house at noon and the behavior was just weird. He took them in through the garage where there was a sign leaning against the wall that said, "Owner for Superior Court Judge." What? I thought he was an insurance agent. We later looked up his bar record and he was not in fact an attorney, but shared the same first and last name as a local judge, different middle name. He got the sign somehow and I don't know if he had them go in through the garage as an intimidation tactic or something, but it did not work. He pointed out minor scuff marks in the closet and that was that. Girlfriend convinced him that the doorknob was not worth fighting over. He made some remark about how he needed to steam clean the carpet even though it was immaculately clean and I had only lived there 9 days, because there could be bodily fluids on it. Again, what the F? Girlfriend offered to come back with a black light, but he said no, it is okay. Girlfriend sprayed down the carpet with Febreze and he was willing to sign off that there was no more odor. Everything looked on track to get back the security deposit. They talked about the cat defenestration and I guess animal control had picked up the cat with injuries and had taken it to get inspected. An officer had called owner about an animal cruelty investigation and owner had given him my name and number saying I must have done it because owner certainly had not. So it's not like owner went out of his way to file a false police report, but it is still scary. Does this weaken my constructive eviction case? Then girlfriend asks, what about the prorated rent? And things turned around. Owner saying I don't deserve it and that if I wanted so badly to stick to the contract, because I didn't want him going in my room without advance written notice, that the notice he had given was for 30 days and I did not have to leave so soon. Girlfriend says, okay, but just so you know, that will mean we will have to end up in court and I would hate to see that happen. Owner, who up until now had opened up a slight bit, immediately turns icy and says, we have nothing more to say to each other, you need to get out now. So they went to leave, but girlfriend had forgotten the key. Oh! Owner also wanted to have something signed saying the tenancy was vacated. Girlfriend said no, not without further discussion. Girlfriend and dad left to go get the key 20 minutes away. Back at home, girlfriend got the key and wrote up a brief settlement form with blanks in it. I guess she thought he might change his mind. Girlfriend and dad went back with the form and the key. Owner answered the door holding his cat. Dad is filming this encounter. Owner refuses to look at the paper, saying to just drop the key and leave. He shuts the door. Girlfriend rings the doorbell one more time, saying it is in his best interest to come to an agreement. Owner shouts, go away, stop harassing me. Girlfriend drops key and they leave. So now I have to wait 21 days and I might get a security deposit back. Then it is off to small claims court, I guess. I am so glad I'm not there anymore. And the last one is the final update to the landlord story. Hello all, I have a final update for those who have followed my landlord issues and subsequent move. By the way, is it subsequent or subsequent? Please let me know in the comments. Anyway, when girlfriend, now fiance, was doing the inspection with her dad, she had brought with her some printouts of landlord-tenant law and left them at the house with my forwarding address for a check. We were not sure anything would come of it and we are going to have a lawyer friend write owner a demand letter. I don't know why or how owner changed his mind, but perhaps the printout had something to do with it. I got 2 checks in the mail, one for the entire security deposit and one for the entire prorated rent amount. I guess owner talked to his many judge friends and figured out he should avoid the penalties that come with the judgment. We have had no further contact with the sheriff regarding the cat. All is well that ends well. This was a crazy couple of weeks, but everything turned out fine in the end. Thanks for helping me cope and I wish the same for you. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripe stories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.